Yo, what is going on, trappers? Welcome back to J-Will Trap TV. We are back with another video, and I know Power is over. I know it's over. Season 3 is done, but we got more Power coming later. But we still got some time to discuss this season that just went by. So today, I want to give my opinion on 5 good things and 5 bad things that happened in Power Book 2, Season 3. Now, I can tell you guys aren't gonna agree with me on everything. You're not gonna agree with me on everything, especially some of these bad things I'm gonna point out. I'm looking at you, Detroit, okay? Guys aren't gonna agree with me on everything, but that's what the comment section is for. But I want you guys to know, I really enjoyed this season. I overall rated it at a 9. I was on EJ's channel, and I said I think this season was a 9. So these bad things I'm pointing out are just little annoyances. They aren't bad, but come on, I have to write they're bad. I could have named it like 5 good things and 5 annoyances about Power Book 3, or Power Book 2, Season 3. So remember, guys, this is just my opinion, and we're gonna go through the good things first, and then the bad things last. Let's go. Okay, so our first good thing is, I'm gonna say, Braden's arc in Season 3. In Season 3, we see Braden's character grow in a number of ways in the 3 months after taking blame for the Stanfield operation. We see that he's hungry and he wants to get deeper into the drug business. In the beginning of Season 3, Braden is responsible for lying to Tariq to get Tariq and Kane in the same room so they can start another drug distribution business. But his plan goes south when Noma walks in and forces the trio to work for her in exchange for their lives. While all this is going on, Braden still hasn't told Tariq the truth about Lauren's disappearance, and we also see Braden scheme to get Tariq an internship at Weston Holdings, by paying Tadoff. He takes up a relationship with Kiki, Lucas's assistant, and he helps Tariq set up Crash Coin, which is a huge moneymaker for, their drug business. And it pretty much feeds the Noma operation, and it's safe. You're not out there on the corner hanging out, shooting people, protecting the block. It's all done through an app. The app also launders the money instantly through the purchase of the Crash Coin. He even goes to Italy and he gets captured by Francesco's bodyguards and they torture your boy. And Braden, he stays solid, doesn't give up any information. Braden does have a major slip up early in the season where he's supposed to kill the Russian connect Vladimir and he's unable to do it and Tariq has to save him. But Braden later makes up for this, more than makes up for this, when he tosses his uncle Lucas off the side of a building. Braden also has a pretty tense scene where he confronts Tariq on Tariq killing his father. And of course, Tariq denies it, but this shows that Braden is demanding more than just being Tariq's yes man. And later, as his street life starts to crash in on his family life, with the Tejadas visiting his family home and threatening them, Braden starts to have second doubts, and he tells Tariq that he wants out of the game. But when Tariq's life is on the line in the season finale, Braden shows up in the final moments to offer his best friend one final lifeline and get him the hell out of that room. So let's give it to him, guys. Braden had a good season. He had a really good season. He had a lot more to do this season. And outside of him lying to Tariq about, Lauren's disappearance, this guy proved his loyalty, and now his character's gonna take a major turn because for the most part, he has turned his back on his rich family and he's gonna be on the run with Tariq. So there you have it. I think Braden had one of the best arcs in this season. I thought he was one of the best characters to watch. I thought he had some of the more interesting storylines, and it was good growth to see him fail to kill the Russian connect, but then eventually later, when he had a reason, kill someone he loved in his uncle Lucas. Plus that scene when he showed up, nobody thought Braden was about to show up and start shooting to save Tariq. Nobody's seen that coming. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care the spoilers. If you guys watch the spoilers, you've seen it coming. But no one's seen Braden coming to save Tariq, shooting at Kane. He shot at Kane, directly at him. First person he shot at, shot his pistol out of his hand. I don't think he hit Kane. I've slowed it down 100 times. I didn't see any bullet splash, but he definitely hit that pistol. Now let's move on to number 2. So for number 2, we gotta talk about my boy RSJ. Yes, RSJ is the second good thing I wanna bring up about Power Book 2 Season 3. So RSJ is a Harvard University and Harvard Business School alum who grew up in the working class, and then he built his own legitimate business empire. So he walks the straight and narrow. He's played by Jabinga Akimbe, who was famous for his role on The Wire when he was playing Chris Partlow. We are told that RSJ is one of the most successful and richest businessmen in the world. And early in the season, Weston Holdings is pursuing his investment portfolio. And this is all to help fuel their Ponzi scheme. In the beginning, Lucas is initially unable to convince RSJ to join or partner with Weston Holdings. And it's not until Tariq agrees to move his trust fund over to Weston Holdings and sell RSJ the building he needs demolished to help him build his mall. After Tariq makes the deal, RSJ partners with Weston Holdings. RSJ takes an early interest in Tariq and requests for him to come with him along on the trip to Italy to invest in the Italian tech company Noma. RSJ shows Tariq a living example, the type of person he can be if he went on the straight and narrow and became a fully legitimate businessman. RSJ demonstrates the type of power and influence Tariq could wield, and he further inspires Tariq to finish school and take over his family trust fund. When RSJ finds out that Weston Holdings is a Ponzi scheme, he confronts Lucas and he forces him to pay back his money, Tariq's trust fund, and the Tejada money that Braden invested. Unfortunately, later, Tate tips the SEC off on the Ponzi scheme, and the fate of RSJ's investment is left unclear at the end of the season. With that said, RSJ was a great addition to this season, and we are looking forward to see if he goes more into the criminal business with Tariq now that he may have lost that money. Now, the thing I like the most about RSJ is how direct he is. Check him out.
You're a rock star CEO, like a black Elon Musk.
The black Elon Musk. Didn't he build his empire from his daddy's apartheid profits?
I apologize for before. Tariq made me aware of how I put my foot in my mouth.
I hope you didn't drag me all the way down here in that traffic for an apology. Tariq, you'll be there to translate?
Tariq's a little junior for a trip like this.
But not too junior to get my business? You have until the end of business today to accept our offer. I can make these patent issues go away by Monday.
I'm suggesting that you don't let him fucking rob you.
Hold the fuck up. I worked my ass off to get here by doing things the right way. I was walking away from the Westons before your shady ass pulled me back in. So let me be absolutely clear. I'm fucked, Tariq, because of you.
But that is a lie that my drug-dealing fuck-up nephew is telling to cover.
Stop talking!
RSJ doesn't beat around the bush. In any settings he's in, he demands respect, and he's just a great example of what Tariq can and probably will be at the end of this series. Okay, so let's move on to our third good thing. Let's talk about Lorenzos Death. Much of the first 5 episodes of this season revolved around the mystery of Zeke's death. As we all know, in the season 2 finale of Power Book 2, Lorenzo goes to confront Mecca at the airport, but instead, when he gets to the airport, he sees Zeke, but he doesn't know it's Zeke, and he shoots him. Zeke's death causes a major rift in the Tejada family and in Lorenzo and Monet's marriage. After Monet obtains the Whitman file, she becomes suspicious of Lorenzo's involvement in Zeke's death, and she starts to investigate. Meanwhile, Lorenzo is becoming closer with his children, namely Kane and Diana. He's repairing his relationship with Kane, and he's inspiring Diana to go to school and be all that she can be. Lorenzo also eventually confesses to Monet that he was involved with Zeke's death and that it was an accident. Monet is unable to forgive Lorenzo, and eventually she has him killed by Gordo after telling Gordo that Lorenzo was involved in his father's, Frank's, death. After Lorenzo dies, this story continues. And when Diana and Drew find out about Monet's involvement in Lorenzo's death, they conspire to have Monet killed by Tariq and to have Tariq killed by Kane. The mystery around Zeke's murder and Lorenzo's death shattered the Tejada family, and it pretty much fueled the entire season. Now that the Tejadas and Tariq are at odds, we will have to see if the truth ever really comes out. Let's move to our fourth good thing about this season. We gotta talk about Saxs Death. After 9 seasons on Power, we finally see Saxs' demise. In this season, we've seen Saxs play double agent between Davis and Jenny. Things got ugly when Lauren told Tariq that Saxs was a mole, and Tariq relayed the info to Davis. Eventually, Theo, Davis's brother, who has leukemia and just got out of prison, got wind of Saxs' betrayal, and because his leukemia treatment wasn't working, and he was near death anyway, he decided to take out Saxs himself and then commit suicide, all in an effort to prevent Davis from being convicted of wrongdoing. Saxs' death sets in motion of a number of events that sees fan characters like 2-Bit and Tommy return to the show. His death also shows that no one is invincible in Power. Good thing number 5, we gotta talk about your boy Tariq, because I think Tariq is getting better and better. Now look, coming into Power Book 2, I was one of the peeps that disliked Tariq for killing Ghost. I just couldn't believe he killed Ghost. I couldn't believe he shot his daddy. I couldn't believe, after everything Ghost did for this boy, that he killed his dad. I'm just sorry, guys. You guys disagree with me. Like I said, you guys aren't gonna agree with me on everything. But in this season, Tariq has grown on me. The leadership, the cunning, the perception, it's all there. In this season, we see Tariq carry Noma's entire operation on his back. He's recognized several times by Obi, Noma, and Monet as the brains of the operation. He is able to make moves and act on instinct to protect his friends and family. He is thoughtful and forgives his friends when they make mistakes. Like when he found out that Braden lied about Lauren, he eventually met with him and patched that up. He showed up to pick up Effie after she got out of jail and tried to take her back to her dorm, even though she didn't want to go. But he forgave her. He didn't want to, continue a relationship with her, but he forgave her for what she did. He even forgave Diana for taking his codes. Tariq don't be holding no grudges, guys. And he always has a plan. That's what I like about him the most, is he always has a plan. Things turn bad at the end of the season when Noma and the Tejadas turned against him, but we all know your boy will be back with a new operation next year, and he will eventually end up taking Noma and that organization out. All right, guys, so let's get into the controversial part of this video. Let's talk about the bad things. Bad thing number one, Noma. Noma. Noma's introduced to us as the season 3 big bad. We first meet her at an auction where she cuts a woman's hand off just to get her engagement ring back. This is the same engagement ring that our friend Mecca offered to Monet in season 2. We later see her charge Tariq, Braden, and Kane with running Mecca's old operation, which comprised of illegal drug sales and arms trafficking. During this meeting, we find out that Noma is looking for information on who murdered Mecca, like as if she has feelings for the guy or something. And then from this point on, we only see Noma in 2 more episodes, and she's supposed to be the big bad. We see her again in episode 5, when she drops it on Tariq and Effie in Milan, Italy. She wants them to retrieve that listening device from Francesco's party. And during this meeting, she asks about Mecca's killer again, and Tariq, of course, has to lie to her to protect Monet's cover. She also shows up at the end of the episode in a pretty dope moment, with her sniper team, where she saves Tariq and Braden. And during this mission to secure that listening device, Effie learns about Noma's daughter. And once Tariq and Effie learn about Noma's daughter, they begin to conspire on how they can use this knowledge to free themselves from Noma's control. And in the last episode we see Noma is in episode 10, the season finale. In this episode, she meets with Monet and finally learns the truth about Mecca's death, and she does nothing. It was a very anticlimactic reaction. I thought that she was gonna make her pay in some way, but she did not. She just tells us that him being killed by an ex-lover is fucking ordinary, and that she feels vulnerable because, Mecca was able to hide Zeke and Monet from her. She then goes to take it out on Obi, and I'm gonna say, Obi been great all season. He been great, better than Noma, I can tell you that much. I feel like a lot of fans were looking forward to this meeting with Monet and Noma. There seemed to be a great amount of hype behind Noma wanting to know who killed Mecca. And for nothing to happen when she found out, I thought it was just bad. Now, I was never expecting her to shoot or kill Monet, even though I may have said it in a few comments. But I feel like it was quickly resolved without any consequences, and that is just not good TV, in my opinion. Aside from that, as I pointed out earlier, I would like to have seen her more. I know she's busy. I know she's running an international drug organization, Detroit. But I feel like she had an amazing entrance, and I just wanted to see more of this woman. Maybe we could have used some of the wasted time from the classroom scenes to, show Noma out, traveling the world, checking out on the other drug distribution centers she has. And speaking of classroom scenes, let's get to my next point. Bad thing number 2. So before I get into, why classroom scenes are bad, I know a lot of people are gonna disagree with me, but hear me out. Okay, hear me out. Episodes 8, 9, and 10 do not have classroom scenes. And, based on me just being a guy in the community who goes around talking to people about power, who reads comments, listens to people's general reactions of the show, I feel like people really appreciated and enjoyed the pacing of the last 3 episodes. I feel like the classroom scenes, number 1, slow down the drama. They slow down the drama. They try to make, they treat the audience as idiots, and they try to make the audience think about things in a very meta fashion, as if they don't trust us to figure it out ourselves, like what the episode's about, what the show's about. Example, each classroom scene features the title of the episode. The woman literally writes it on the board, and they talk about what it means. Now, they do a deep dive of socio-economic issues while using the characters to relate to their own internal struggles. And it's not really that big of an issue, but I feel like it can be done in normal scenes, the same way we do it in Raising Kanan, the same way we did it in Power, or the last 3 episodes of the season, for crying out loud. Now, as I said, a lot of you are gonna disagree with me, and you guys are gonna be like, well, Tariq has to get a 3.5 GPA to get his trust fund. And I get that, right? But we can see some other classrooms maybe, some other professors maybe. You know, we can do something else so we can have a little bit less of this stuff. Dedicating so much time to these teachers with overall weak stories. It's just boring to me. I don't know, to me, my opinion, guys, my channel, my opinion. I'd rather catch up with Noma. I'd rather go hang out with Obi. I don't want to see Dr. Bennett. Now, I will tell you, Dr. Bennett was, you know, a little bit better than Carrie. She didn't do some of that annoying shit that she would do, like following Tariq from a distance and all that crap. But the stuff with her in the Tate election, it was boring. We could have had every scene that Tate did with her without her there and got the same effect, except when she got mad when she found out that he was going behind her back and, you know, doing dirty deals with the Westons, you know, taking dirty politician deals, etc. It even seems like the idea to have Tate get married to her in the first place was for screen time. They could have had Tate marry a red shirt, but they wanted to bring her in somehow. And even then, we don't even really see their relationship. We only see their relationship when the plot needs to be progressed. And that's why I don't like it, because we don't get to know the character. Now, I know you guys are gonna disagree with me, but that's what the comment section's for. Tell me what you guys think. I reply to all the comments and we'll discuss it. Okay, moving on, bad thing number 3. The third bad thing is gonna be the Castillos. So in this season, we get a big storyline for the Castillos. And just in case you don't know, the Castillos are Evelyn, Guillermo, Gordo, and Gilberto, along with Frank, who we met in season 1. And the Tejadas, as we know, they have an interesting history with the Castillos. If you remember back in season 1, Uncle Frank first showed up and Monet was immediately suspicious of him getting out of prison early. And he was quickly labeled as a snitch and she ordered Kane to kill him. Later in season 2, we meet Evelyn, who's Frank's wife, and she drops by to ask about Frank's death, which Monet denies knowledge of at the time. In season 3, we see Evelyn visit Monet and offer condolences after Zeke's death. And around the same time, we see the younger Tejadas become drug distributor for the Castillos after they take out their Russian connect Vladimir. As the Tejadas and Castillos work together, Drew and Gordo become romantically involved. Later, after Monet finds that Lorenzo killed Zeke, she tells Gordo that Lorenzo killed his father Frank, and then Gordo goes and kills Lorenzo. After Lorenzo is killed, Gordo becomes a liability for Monet, and she comes up with a plan to blame Lorenzo's death on Kai and Gordo. Once Drew kills Gordo, he has a breakdown with Everett that goes viral, where he admits that Gordo is missing or gone. The remaining Castillos become suspicious and begin to ask to speak with Drew. Monet continues to deny Tejada involvement, and later in the same episode, Kane and Drew take out the Castillos by filling up their restaurant with deadly gas. And just like that, the Castillos are gone. So here's my issues with the Castillos. We never really get to know them outside of Drew and Gordo. Like we got, what about Gilberto? What about Guillermo? I want to chill with them. We seen them playing a card game with Kane once, but we don't get enough time with all of them to make these deaths meaningful. I like deaths to feel, you know, like I knew the person and now they're gone. When they died, it was just like, oh, they're dead. Like Saxs Death was much better, you know, like you knew Saxs, you knew who the hell he was and that he deserved that shit. Besides Gordo's efforts to help Drew with asserting respect for his sexuality with the rest of the Tejada family, we didn't get much out those Castillos. And that's why I think they weren't so strong. That's why I think it was a bad thing. So let's move on to the fourth bad thing. Fourth bad thing, guys, almost done. Dragging out Lauren. So let's talk about Lauren. At the end of season 2, we see her get kidnapped by Effie and Braden, and then she gets taken by Effie. We assume that she was killed because that's what we were told. But in the season premiere of season 3, we find out that she is still very much alive. And at this point we see Lauren in witness protection all the way until episode 5, when she confronts Tariq about her attempted murder. And between all of this, we get a few scenes with Effie trying to tell Tariq about Lauren's disappearance, and she can't bring herself to do it. And all that is a waste of time, in my opinion. Lauren comes forward to Tariq in episode 5, conveniently just as the mystery around Zeke's death is being wrapped up. And this is why I think it's a bad thing, you know, for her to drag this out, because once she came forward in episode 5, things started moving really quickly. Those last 5 episodes, they were amazing, guys. And it took, you know, her coming forward to start Tariq going on his path to figure out who was lying to him and why. Now, I know some of you guys will think that's fine pacing, but for me, it kind of diminished Lauren's character. It turned her into a chess piece. She becomes a plot device to create fake witness tension, because at the end of the day, we all knew that Lauren was gonna be another Angela, that when the time came, she wasn't gonna testify against Tariq. We all knew that, so we didn't have to drag that out. All the back and forth with her going from wanting to help Tariq, to ignoring him after Saxs' death, to agreeing to testify when her family got in danger, then wanting to meet with Effie again just to tell her that she deserved what she was getting, but then ultimately not testify, was all a great amount of filler, because from the very beginning, we knew that she was never gonna testify on Tariq. We knew it. There were no major plot twists, nothing. She just kind of beat around the bush and then eventually didn't testify. And some of it was goofy. How do you have a witness and witness protection that just goes out as she pleases and meets up with the defendant? The cops just weren't watching her. How you gonna keep a witness safe if you're not watching where she going? All of that, the way they handled that, the way they were able to communicate, it was all sloppy in my opinion. Okay, so now we're on our fifth bad thing. And our fifth bad thing is Kane and Effie's relationship at the end of the season. And I know many of us seen this coming, and I don't have a problem with them being in a relationship. I don't have a problem with them being together. I just don't like how it happened. I feel like having Kane and Effie come together so quickly in the context around them sleeping together weakened both of their characters. So after Tariq kicked Effie to the curb, after Tariq found out about her involvement with Lauren's disappearance, Effie ends up sleeping with Kane after he assists her with her tuition. Both Kane and Effie swear they want nothing from each other, but they get together and sleep together anyway. And I'm not mad about this because I'm a diehard Tariq fan. I'm mad about this because I'm a Kane and Effie fan. Effie has always been independent, and her sleeping with Kane so quickly off a brick and some tuition money took her down in my book. I did appreciate her independence from Kane when she said she didn't need him and that she wasn't built to snitch on Tariq like that. But I feel like her sleeping with Kane was a quickly written excuse by the writers to make the audience more aligned with Tariq in the last episodes. When it comes to Kane, Kane was moving in a more intelligent manner throughout most of the season. He was running the street side of distribution without locking heads with Tariq in any major way. And he was the first to discover that Monet had something to do with Lorenzos' death. He had a rivalry building with Drew, which I thought would have been an interesting storyline. But then next thing you know, he sleeps with Effie and then turns into a simp for the rest of the season. I'm sorry guys, this was just a little too rushed, okay? It was like Tariq breaks up with Effie. Next episode, Kane offers tuition. Next episode, Effie sleeps with Kane. Like, come on, give us some space. God damn. So I feel like it was rushed, but hopefully they do it justice in the next season. You know, give them real reasons to like each other, because it seemed like she didn't even like Kane, really. And then all of a sudden, because he dropped some tuition on her, she sleeps. A girl like Effie has options, bro. They don't gotta go get no goddamn money from Kane. They got options. Effie is the smartest woman on the show. She can fucking program robotics. She wrote another Course Perfect thing. She offered to intercept Mecha's listening device wirelessly. She got the photo of Noma's daughter. Like, there's so many things that Effie can do that Diana and Lauren cannot do. And that's why I think she's a better girl for Tariq. They're a match made in heaven. But oh, just because she didn't tell me about her killing Lauren when she was trying to protect Tariq in the first place, all of a sudden it's fuck Effie. Fuck that. Tariq, use your fucking head. And that's all I'm gonna say on that one. Drop in the comments, guys. So there you guys are. 5 good things, 5 bad things, right? And there were a lot of other good things, like Obi, for example. Obi, I wish I could have put him on here, but I only had 5 things. And we didn't see Obi that much. Well, we've seen him a lot more than we've seen Noma. And I thought the season was great. The world building, going out to Italy was dope. The Weston's holding side of the thing was dope. David's getting his brother out of jail was dope. So remember guys, I'm giving this season an overall 9, but these are just some of the things I had an issue with. Okay, some of the things I had an issue with and some of the things I really like. So remember, it's just my opinion. Let me know how you guys feel. Drop it out in the comments. Peace.